So I just saw The Running Man, which is Edgar Wright's newest film, and it was underwhelming. This movie isn't, but what's the movie about though? Well, it's about a guy, Ben. He needs money for his daughter who's sick, but since he lives in the dystopian future, he cannot afford the medicine, and so he decides to participate in a game show called The Running Man, where you have to survive for like a whole month against everybody, and if you do survive, you get a huge amount of money. But anybody can kill you, and you're being hunted nonstop. That's the premise. Pretty simple. And again, Edgar Wright's done many simple premises before, and he's executed them very well. I'm a big fan of his work. I really love the Cornetto trilogy. I really love Baby Driver. I enjoyed Scott Pilgrim. But his last film, Last Night in Soho, made me a little skeptical. I was like, is this movie wasn't that good. It was like very confusing and a bit of a huge mess, especially from a writing standpoint, but still had a lot of visual flair, which we come to expect from Edgar Wright. However, though, I thought to myself, that's going to be the one time he's going to really slip up like that. We're going to get back to on track with great films of his. No, we're not. And I think this actually may be worse than Last Night in Soho, which, man, it's not a bad movie. It's just whatever. Which again, compared to other movies this year, I'll take this any day. But I did not expect the weakest Stephen King adaptation of the year to be done by Edgar Wright. There's a lot of Stephen King adaptations that I didn't expect to be good, but they surprised me. Like The Monkey and Long Walk, I thought to myself, oh no, we're doing so good this year. But no, not anymore. I haven't seen It Welcomes Derry also, so who knows, maybe this year is just equally as bad for Stephen King as it is good. But again, I've read the book though, so I cannot judge whether or not the book is, it being more accurate to the book, which I heard it is, because again, this was adapted before by Arnold. Not by Arnold, but like he was in the movie. Yeah, and I'm not sure if people say it's a more accurate version. I'm not sure that's holding it back or making it actually some way, or what they changed is making it worse. Because again, I've read the book, so I don't know. I can't speak on that. But I can speak about is how this movie does on its own. Again, when you're an adaptation, you have to be good on your own. So, but it says it doesn't work because the characters, first of all, are forgettable. Glenn Powell plays the main character Ben Richards, and he's super forgettable, man. He's trying. He does a good action man performance, but his character is not that interesting. He's not that funny, and the dialogue, because again, the dialogue in Edgar Wright films can be like really snappy and pretty hilarious, but here it's pretty generic, very standard, and it's not that funny. And honestly, I sadly to say, the words "very generic" or "standard" can be described this whole movie. Because every actor's performance can be summed up to that degree. I think the only actor's performance I really liked was Josh Brolin. I thought he did a good job as the corporate sleazeball. Yeah, so yeah, good job for him. But outside of him, everybody else just felt forgettable. And the kid was really, really bad in this film. I get he's a kid, but still, man, Jesus, his acting was rough in this film. However, though, it's not just the writing and the characters that are just like whatever. It's also the direction. This feels very safe in terms of direction. Like the style that we come to associate with Edgar Wright is very absent. Like the fast cutting, absent. The humor, the humor is absent that we come to expecting. There's humor, but it doesn't feel like Edgar Wright humor. It feels more like, God, I hate saying this, MCU humor, except I guess with the R rating. And again, like the way the camera moves is very static. It's very boring. It doesn't have any interesting angles or a lot of energy behind it, except for one shot where like this is kind of a long take where like Ben's running through an apartment getting shot at. For a moment, it felt like Edgar Wright's direction style was back on there. And I think that's the main reason I prefer Last Night in Soho, because again, whilst the movie had a lot of problems writing wise, directing wise, it felt like an Edgar Wright movie. It had tons of style, the colors and like the camera angles are all so unique, and the editing was fantastic. But here, this could have been a generic action movie directed by anybody. Part of me, many people say this movie was just made as like a It's like, a check, like just to get a little check write off, not something he was really passionate about or something he really cared to make. And honestly, it comes across. And also there's the commentary because like this is a rich capitalistic world where a company rules the entire country. It's all done. Very obvious. No, it's not, again, sometimes I think obvious is alright, but here it's just annoying. It doesn't have any depth or interesting character or explorations. It's just standard. That's the best way to describe this movie. Which again, for most directors, be like whatever, but for Edgar Wright, it's really disappointing. I'm going to give this movie a 5 out of 10. Check it out if you want, but I personally recommend not watching it.